I will call this meeting the December 4th, 2020 meeting of the Rotary Club of Plymouth. We'll open it up and get it started. We've got an exciting program today, and I want to get through all of the Rotary stuff and get to the program to honor the first responders. So we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. If my slides work, okay. If everybody would join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America,
and
to the
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God,
for all.
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everybody. And the four-way test, we will, the Rotarians can ruminate on that silently. And welcome to the guests, the various guests that we have here, all of those receiving awards and their families and friends and colleagues. Welcome. And anybody else, I can see 5 people on the side of my screen at a time because I got my slideshow going. So the invocation today will be by none other than Chris Portman.
All right, thank you, President John. May we bow our heads and let us pray. Almighty God, you lend your strength to all those who are there for us in our times of crisis, fear, and hurt. You give courage to the first responders who continue to do this important work they are called to do, looking beyond the risk for the sake of those who need your help and protection. We give you thanks for the many ways they give of themselves, their skills, knowledge, and help in troubling times. Protect them, O Lord. Extend your shielding hand over them and comfort their hearts when they are tired and heartbroken. God, we also lift up prayers of thanks and comfort for the families of first responders and all those who support them. Give them hope and courage. Surround them with your loving presence and give them peace when their loved ones run toward uncertainty. All this we pray in your name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. And Chris Portman is pulling double duty. I got this how Chris dresses on the weekend. It's a picture of Chris on the weekend in his Sparty outfit. So he's the broadcaster also. So if you have anything for the broadcaster, let him know. And if those giving the awards would send him an email that went out earlier, your write-ups and the information you have to help him with the broadcaster, that would be appreciated. So thank you for doing that in advance. And birthdays, we've got Jim Carney, Terry Durkin are celebrating somewhere else, and their birthdays are today. And Caroline Mayer's birthday is Sunday. And Mike Howell has, I want to say it, I think I have a typo. I want to say it's 25 or 29 years. I'll fix that for next week. And Jan Eisen has 23 years in the club. So congratulations happy birthday and congratulations. Club announcements. Cam Miller has his annual Goodfellow collection tomorrow. Usually he comes to the meeting on Friday of Goodfellow weekend and collects money, but he will be out at Main and Penniman tomorrow morning collecting money for the Goodfellows. So if you're out and about, you want to drop a donation off, that's appreciated. Or you can drop off checks to what will be his new office on Union Street, just behind the library, at any time. And bell ringing, I'm going to let Russ Jones chime in here.
All right, thanks, John. We're bell ringing for the Salvation Army next weekend, Friday and Saturday. And there's 40 shifts, and we allow 2 people per shift. There's 40 shifts, and only about half of them are filled. We especially need people to work on Saturday afternoon. There is a football game, maybe, depending on whether there's a white flag or no white flag. But we really, really need people. Salvation Army needs money to help those in our community that are in need. So if you could, please respond to Laura's emails that she's asking for. It's easy to sign up using Sign Up Genius, and pick a time that works for you. We're only ringing at Bush's at 5 Mile and Sheldon, Ann Arbor Road, Kroger's. There's 2 doors there that we work at. And then the former Hillers, now Kroger's, I guess it's been a few years, but I still think of it as Hillers, over at Haggerty and 5 Mile. So we really need your help. Chuck, are you going to come up from Florida, I hope, to ring maybe? Yes, no? So if you could, and also she sent out an email with a QR code. It's a square with the little squiggly black things on it. You can use that to, people can donate via the internet completely anonymously as far as you're concerned. You can send that to your friends, your family. The Rotary will get credit as part of our bell ringing efforts to beat the Kiwanians. You can actually hold it up to the screen on the computer, and people can scan that QR code with their phone from the computer screen. So please post it on your social media. People can make it easy for people to donate to the Salvation Army. So if you have any questions, you can call me or Laura. Thanks.
Ross, I'll put the link to that in the chat in case people don't know how to use the QR code.
Great. Thanks, James.
All right. Thank you, Russ. So we got that going. Another, if you can see it right here, the Opportunity House in Plymouth here was decorated. Our community service committee had to do things a little different. Usually they do a Christmas party for the Opportunity House, and they were not able to do that this year for obvious health reasons. And so Serene Surroundings, our very own Paul Updike and his team donated the lights and the labor and decorated 1 or 2 of the Opportunity houses in the area. So we appreciate that. And there's a sign here. This particular house is over at Deer and Wing. So drive by at night and take a look at it. It's sure it looks great. And then a quick member update. I sent an email out yesterday. Commander Butler has kind of taken a turn for the worse, unfortunately. And he and his family, he is in the hospital, and he and his family could use some positive thoughts and prayers. He's fighting, and so I will keep everybody updated on that. And Scott LaRich is recovering from COVID, and so he's back on his feet, and so he could use some positive thoughts and prayers also. Anything I missed? I think I got it all. Okay, and we will jump right into the program. I'm going to turn it over to the chair of this committee, the Public Safety Award Committee, Dan Amos, and we will get it started. And
John, can I mention one thing? It's Ron Schmeier, just 15 seconds.
Yes, sir.
I just wanted to say personally, I wanted to thank the town. I know I saw Paul, and I know, that I saw some of the other guys, Tony, on that Christmas Comes to Plymouth thing that we did just the other day. I thought it was one of the most exciting, finest things that I have experienced in 37 years living in Plymouth. And I mean, you're talking about a 62-year-old guy who had goosebumps on top of goosebumps with my grandchildren, my family, socially distanced on our street as Santa went up and down. It was the real deal. And I can tell you, everybody that I have talked to or I've been involved with thought that's what we're all about in the city of Plymouth. So thank you and God bless. And that's all I just wanted to say.
Thanks, Ron. Yeah, I agree. It was, my family and I went to the park. It was pretty amazing. So thank you. So, Mr. Amos, if you want to say a few words and then we'll jump right into the program.
Thanks, John. Yeah, I just want to say, every year I'm humbled to be able to chair this committee and help do this program. Every day it amazes me the work that our first responders do, and really in particular this year with all of the challenges during the pandemic. And I just want to say thank you to everyone. And you guys didn't come here to hear me speak, so I will turn it over to again to share for.
Thanks, Dan. Certainly appreciate all the work that you and the committee are doing on this program. And certainly on behalf of the Rotary Club of Plymouth, we'd like to welcome all of our visitors and guests who are online with us today. But especially, we'd like to extend a congratulations to all of the winners, and for all of the work that they are doing, and they're present in our community on a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week service to our community to meet our security and emergency needs. Oftentimes, the first responders see our community in a whole different light, much different than what Ron just talked about. But it is noteworthy the compassion and comfort that is shown by these community heroes, and it needs to be recognized through programs like this. Being a first responder, it's not a job, it's a calling, and it requires significant dedication and commitment. And today we recognize the best of the best in our community. And clearly in this time of COVID, we need to take a pause and recognize the efforts of our first responders. It's necessary for the community to show support and appreciation for the work that they are doing. Our first responders work together on a daily basis for the betterment of our community. They work together to solve crime, back each other up, assist each other when needed, and without regard to what the patch says on their arms. The township and the city firefighters work together to save property and lives. And again, when there is a need, they're there to assist each other with manpower and equipment. And it is service to the community that matters. Our community's partner paramedic teams from Huron Valley Ambulance, or HVA, they work daily with our community's fire departments and police first responders to provide an extremely high level of pre-hospital care, as the team from HVA is nationally accredited and constantly monitors the metrics of care to ensure the very best in pre-hospital service. As the team, our first responders bring the emergency room to your home or business. Thank you to all of our first responders for your service to this community. When we do presentations like today, we like to take a moment or two just to explain what Rotary is all about. Rotary is the first service club in the world, and it started nearly 115 years ago. Started in Chicago, and it is now grown to a worldwide organization of 1.2 million members of local Rotary clubs around the world. Today, there are over 33,000 Rotary clubs all around the world, and each club has its own spin, if you will, on service to the community. The Plymouth Rotary Club has been serving the Plymouth area for nearly 100 years. Rotarians are local leaders who exchange ideas and take action, both globally and locally. And we're always looking for new members. The Plymouth Club is one of the larger clubs in our area. Many of you are familiar with our Rotary Chicken Barbecue on what normally is Chicken Sunday after Labor Day, and held during the Fall Festival. Hopefully we'll be back to that this next year. And, I'm sure several of you who are joining us today have either eaten or volunteered and assisted cooking and serving those dinners. Money raised from that event and our spring golf outing and other fundraisers provide us the opportunity to engage in service projects both locally and globally. One of our Rotary Club's premier programs is this annual Public Safety Awards program. And our members really do look forward to this program on an annual basis. And we want to recognize all of the professionals, not just the ones that are here with us today, who serve our community as first responders and as members of a community-wide team. We're going to start in with our presentations today. First up, to introduce us to the Paramedic of the Year for Huron Valley Ambulance is the Operations Manager based here in Plymouth, Plymouth Rotarian, Andy Savage.
Hello, can everybody hear me? Good. All right. I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce you to Eric Ferris, Senior Paramedic and Field Training Officer here with HVA. Eric has healthcare in his DNA. Many family members are in the healthcare industry, and this gave Eric a good head start of being a paramedic. Paramedics need to know a little bit about a lot of subjects, and having healthcare providers in the family of different disciplines really helps with that. Eric in particular works very well with patients on autism spectrum and developmental disabilities. He's taken some extra training in that, so that's kind of his specialty. And as a field training officer, he can help out our new employees with that special niche group of patients. Eric started with HVA in January of 2014. He came to us as an EMT awaiting his paramedic testing results to get his state license, which came in about a month. He progressed quickly through our training program and became a senior medic within a year. Now, if you don't know, HVA never puts new people on an ambulance together. There is one senior person that's gone through our entire training program and is in charge and responsible for everything that happens on that ambulance during the shift. And to do that within a year, considering his first month was an EMT, is pretty impressive. And now he became an FTO, and he mentors new employees and gets them through this rigorous training program. And he also spends lots of extra hours updating that training program and all the tests involved in progressing through the program as protocols change. And on a regular basis, treatment regimens change as science changes. But with the pandemic and all those, all the changes that have come rapidly for everybody, that's a big help in making sure that program stays successful. Eric is married to Justine. I like to, they're on the video here together. I'd like to take a moment, Justine, to thank you for sharing Eric with us. You know, we can't do this without a good support group on the home front. So to you and all the family members of all the recipients, thank you so much for your support to have first responders be so successful. So thank you. Eric and Justine enjoy spending time with their dogs. I do believe I saw one of the fur babies poke his head there. So gardening, cooking, bonfires are their favorite, or some of their favorite activities. Now Eric is lovingly referred to as a dark cloud partner. If something bad's gonna happen, it's gonna happen on his shift. But Eric always keeps a calm demeanor during even the most challenging of calls. I'd like to share one example of this. Eric and his partner were called to care for a diabetic patient. While treating the patient, Eric's partner suddenly had a severe asthma attack. Eric called for additional resources, supervisor to respond, but while waiting for that extra help to get there, he treated both his patient and his partner at the advanced life support level. And that can be a very stressful time. You know, if you're a family member that's ever called 911, no matter how quick they get there, it seems like an eternity. And when paramedics are the same way. When we need help, it seems like an eternity. And Eric did a great job treating both patients. They both made full recoveries. So it's with great pleasure that I present to you guys Senior Paramedic and Field Training Officer Eric Ferris as the Paramedic of the Year.
And for those who are online with us, this is American Sign Language for applauding. So we figured that out on all these years or all these months, seems like years, on Zoom here. Congratulations, Eric. Despite the dark cloud, it's good to have you here with us today. And hopefully I'm not ever on the ground looking up at you. So, or if I am, I know I'm in good hands. So thank you. Fire and EMS services in the city of Plymouth are provided through a unique partnership with the city of Northville. And this partnership provides for 3 fire stations, one in downtown Northville, one in downtown Plymouth, and one in the Plymouth Old Village area. And introducing us to the Plymouth Station's City Fire Services Firefighter of the Year is Fire Chief Steve Ott. Steve?
Thank you very much, Paul. I'm privileged to be here and to serve as the fire chief for the department, which serves both Plymouth and Northville. And I want to thank the Plymouth Rotary for continuing this tradition of honoring those who provide law enforcement, fire, and EMS services to the community. Even in these unusual times when we cannot safely gather in person or enjoy the traditional turkey and stuffing luncheon, I do commend you for finding new and different ways to present these honors. Just as all of us strive to do, Rotary members contribute to the well-being of the community in a positive fashion, and we are grateful for your service as well. So our honoree this year is firefighter paramedic David Allstat. Before I get into a little bit more about David, I think his wife Jessie may be here or nearby, as well as his children Braden and Morgan. I don't know if you're on the picture or not, but if you are, give a wave. Again, that home support network is so very important. Also, we've got a number of members of the department joining in on, there they are. Thanks for being here, guys. We've got a number of members of our department that are present here on the Zoom meeting today, and I thank them for being here and showing their support. So Dave grew up in Lincoln Park and only later as an adult moved to the Canton area. He's a graduate of the Lincoln Park schools and he earned an associate's degree from Henry Ford Community College. He took a position at Ford Motor Company in the skilled trades, and he continues with Ford today as a project coordinator, I think specifically for skilled trades operations. Dave's father was a firefighter, and Dave spent some time with the Flat Rock Fire Department before moving to the Canton area. But he's continued his involvement with emergency services at Ford, where in addition to his other duties, he's also an emergency response coordinator. Dave's credentials are really amazing. In addition to his basic firefighter training and his paramedic license, Dave has significant training in technical rescue and hazardous materials operations because of his position at Ford. And he's one of those guys, every department has them, who has a file, you know, that thick with certificates. So Dave has really stepped forward and kept up with that. He's presently completing his student teaching and will become a paramedic instructor coordinator here shortly. And become a part of the team in our department that helps keep us up to date with our continuing education requirements. So Dave joined the department, our department, in May of 2018. Then it was really apparent from the start that he was dedicated to our mission. Dave is the sort of person who has ideas, most of the time good ideas, but he's willing to see them through. He's one of these people that you can't do without. He takes the initiative, sees things that need to be done, and then follows through to get them done. I mean, every chief's dream. He's devoted substantial time to training activities in the department. This last year, kind of interrupted for a bit by COVID, we did an in-house Firefighter 1 and Firefighter 2 training academy. And Dave spent a lot of time with the academy helping to teach the students in that academy. And a number of those students are now on our department. He's also a member of our training committee, which plans our departmental training regimen. And he is also one of our field training officers. This is a relatively new position on our department, but it's a position that works to get our newest members, our probationary members, through their probationary skills checklists and integrate them fully into the department. This is very important work, and I'm grateful for Dave and the others who have stepped up to take on those roles. Dave exemplifies the dedication that is such an important part of our operation. And for that reason, among others, I'm really happy to present him as our 2020 recipient of the Plymouth Rotary Public Safety Award. Thank you.
This is so weird doing it this way this year. And Dave, congratulations. And we certainly look forward to having you as a part of a future meeting with the group. And thank you for your service, Dave. Now we're moving onward here, and we're pleased to welcome the Plymouth Township Fire Department. The township provides fire and EMS paramedic services to the township through staffing at 3 fire stations, one on the west side at Beck Road, one on the east side on Haggerty Road, and one in Lake Point. And to introduce us to the Plymouth Township Firefighter Paramedic of the Year, please welcome Fire Chief Dan Phillips.
Good afternoon, everyone. Can you all hear me?
Yep.
Good. Okay. Good afternoon. I'd like to thank the Rotary for holding this event despite the events of 2020. These are very complicated times we find ourselves in. COVID-19 has shown just how fragile our healthcare industry is and how quickly it can be overrun. Healthcare workers, doctors, nurses, EMTs, paramedics, police officers, and dispatchers have been showing up and working throughout this pandemic. Stay-at-home orders don't apply. The isolation of those orders brought its own hardships, and I don't want to belittle the feeling of helplessness and loneliness that is felt by many. But being on the front lines and being exposed so often has worn on our first responders. Firefighters and paramedics are treating COVID patients, trying to convince very sick people they actually have to go to the hospital, despite COVID being there. Police officers this summer went out to the protests, putting themselves at risk. This has been a tremendous amount of stress and worrying if they are going to be exposed, and then the worry of spreading a potentially deadly virus to their friends and loved ones. For most of the pandemic, there has been no end in sight, but now it appears we have a light at the end of the tunnel. I ask that everyone continue to do the right thing and protect those with weakened immune systems and those who are at risk by simply washing your hands, wearing a mask, and maintaining social distancing. The end of COVID is near. We must get safely through this last phase. Plymouth Township's Firefighter of the Year candidate, sorry, didn't mean to preach there, Ian Culver has worked for the Plymouth Township Fire Department for almost 7 years. He's a dedicated professional. He's the father to Brooklyn and Kensley and husband to Sarah. Ian does a multitude of projects around the township, too many to name. He takes it on himself without being asked and without fanfare to complete projects. If something needs doing, Ian does it. If he has nothing to do, he asks what else needs to be done. Projects don't linger when Ian's around. He completes them and moves on to the next and doesn't even bring notice to himself. He outfits our new department vehicles, which we have been blessed to have had a few these past few years, thanks to the hard work of our township board. Ian also takes an interest in helping every member of the department. He excels at learning each piece of equipment and helping our newest firefighters learn that equipment competently. He serves on the union board. He orders our EMS equipment. He is a member of the Western Lane Urban Search and Rescue Team. Ian is the go-to guy for special projects around the township. I want to bring your attention to just one of the outstanding saves Ian has made this year. On the night of July 27th, a 26-year-old threw himself off the I-275 bridge to the train tracks below. He also hurled himself in front of a moving train. a 50-foot fall in front of a train. Fortunately, he misjudged the train and bounced off of it. The train driver called 911. As you can imagine, this is not an easy place to get to on a dark summer night. Ian and his partner arrived to find the jumper screaming in agony. The patient said he couldn't breathe. Either from the fall or the collision with the train, he had developed a tension pneumothorax, and every breath he took was filling his chest cavity with air. Every breath was making it harder and harder to breathe as air filled not his lungs, but around them, strangling them. Ian performed a needle decompression, a procedure I have never used in 30 years of EMS, where he stuck a needle into a specific part of the chest, allowing the air to escape the lungs. He did this at night on the side of the train tracks with a combative and suicidal patient. This is just one of the many saves Ian has had in 2020. And I would like you to join me in congratulating Ian Culver as Plymouth Township's Firefighter of the Year. Ian is actually out plumbing right now and trying to help somebody get their plumbing work done, so he could not join us.
Well, thanks, Chief. It certainly, you know, that's an impressive situation that Ian was involved in. I was listening to the radio traffic that night, and yeah, that's pretty impressive. It's just an incredible amount of work that was put together by the entire team on that call. And Chief, you were not preaching; you were just preaching the gospel that we need to hear. So no problem. Next up, with a special dispensation to be allowed into the Zoom, we let Kawanian, Director of Public Safety here in the city of Plymouth, Al Cox, in on the Zoom call so he could introduce us to the Plymouth Police Officer of the Year. Al?
Thank you, Paul. And thank you, Rotary, for having us here today. Thanks for hosting the program this year under such difficult circumstances. We greatly appreciate the attention that you give to our first responders and our public safety folks that are out there, especially this year with well, all kinds of difficult situations under difficult circumstances. I always like these opportunities. I always say that I love our annual awards ceremony because it's one of the only times that I get to brag about the guys. And a lot of times there's things that happen on the job that the only people that know about it are the fellow officers. This gives us an opportunity to share with the public, but most importantly with their family members, the great job that these guys and gals do and the accomplishments that they have. Our candidate this year is Officer Jay Miller. Jay has been a police officer for over 9 years. He began his career with the city of Plymouth on September 30th of 2013. Prior to coming to the city of Plymouth, he worked as a St. Clair County deputy sheriff for about 2 years. Since he came to Plymouth, he spent the majority of time serving as a road patrol officer on both the day and night shifts. In this capacity, it's what you expect of, or what you think of when you think of a police officer. You respond to calls for service, you enforce the motor vehicle code, local ordinances, affect traffic stops, and you make arrests. During his time as a patrol officer, Jay has done a great job. He's known as being a quick learner. He's very knowledgeable, thorough, and productive. In early 2019, Jay tested for the position of detective, ultimately scoring the highest of all candidates. He was subsequently promoted to the position of detective in July of 2019. Over the course of the next few months, he spent a considerable amount of time at various training classes involving topics from interview and interrogation to crime scene evidence processing, homicide investigation, sexual assault investigation, child abuse investigation, and investigation of many other specific and complex crimes. While the detective position is often coveted for its ability to work a more flexible day shift schedule and wear plain clothes, it also comes with the inconvenience of possibly being called out at any time of the day or night in any kind of weather to process a crime scene, write up a felony warrant request, or just to interview an in-custody prisoner. Additionally, in the Detective Bureau, whatever you don't get done by the end of your workday is waiting for you the next day. Patrol officers get a clean slate every day to start over, and at the end of the day, their work is done. Detectives, it doesn't happen like that. It just piles up on the desk. This makes the ability to multitask a necessity. Jay has risen to these challenges and has excelled during his time in the Detective Bureau. As stated earlier, he's a quick learner and he's adapted very well to the role of detective. If I had to quickly describe Officer Miller, I would say that he's a very caring, personable young man with an outstanding work ethic and strong family values. He's very thorough, he's professional, and he's represented our department very well in many situations. An example of his thoroughness can be seen in multiple investigations. From a simple larceny of a bicycle to an aggravated violent crime, Jay leaves no stone unturned in his quest to build a case against a criminal. One such example was a recent report of indecent exposure that occurred in July of 2019. The suspect was known to the police department for similar reported activities for more than 20 years. As the investigation began, it appeared that the case was simply a he said, she said situation. Jay was assigned the case and he immediately went to work. He spent a great deal of time canvassing the neighborhood for witnesses. After speaking to several people, he completed several search warrant requests for possible video evidence of the crime held by the suspect himself. Additionally, he spent a great deal of time digging into the suspect's history, dating back as far as 1969, 50 years. As a result, Jay discovered multiple sexually motivated crimes that did not appear on the suspect's official criminal history. By reaching out to several courts across the Southeast Michigan, Jay was able to verify prior convictions that would later impact and enhance the specific charges that were issued by the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office. In addition to being a fine detective, earlier this year, Jay attended an intense 40-hour training program and became certified as a crisis intervention team practitioner and trainer. CIT, as it's known, is an innovative first model of police-based crisis intervention training to help persons with mental disorders and/or addictions access medical treatment rather than place them in the criminal justice system due to illness-related behaviors. It also promotes officer safety as well as safety to the individual that's in crisis. This is a collateral duty, and Jay has had opportunity to both apply his training to actual calls for service and to assist in the training of additional officers from both our department and those from across the state of Michigan. As you can see, our recipient, Jay Miller, is a very well-trained and well-rounded police officer that strives not only for personal excellence, but works to help train others to be better officers themselves. For his dedicated service and continued commitment to the Plymouth community and our department, he is our 2020 Police Officer of the Year.
Thanks, Jay. Thanks for all your service here in the city of Plymouth, and we certainly appreciate your efforts and congratulate you on the Rotary Police Officer of the Year award. Our final presentation of the day, Lieutenant Brothers, you can indicate to Chief Titterington that you had no better luck than he as being the final presenter here today. And I'd like to welcome Township Police Lieutenant John Brothers to make the presentation for the Township Police Department. John?
Hello, everyone. I spoke to the chief this morning, and he did tell me to tell everyone hello and that he's looking forward to next year. And with Chief Ott, we talked about the food, and I'm like, man, we're going to miss the turkey this time. So anyways, I want to thank the Rotary. Bill can't be here. Our Officer of the Year is Detective Bill Fettner. He's a sergeant in charge of our Detective Bureau. He was here this morning, and then he had a family emergency and had to leave. So, but he and I were talking this morning, and we actually, if you were in our building, when you go down a hallway, we have all of our plaques and group photos and things. And the Rotary plaque is there, and we kind of looked at it, and the Officer of the Year every year is on there, and it goes all the way back to 2000. So that's 20 years with the Rotary. And I just want to thank you guys for doing that, because it means a lot to us. So Bill, we picked Bill. Bill's been with the department since 1995. He became a sergeant in 2014. And then in 2015, he became the detective sergeant. We made him Officer of the Year for his overall leadership and dedication throughout his career. He is looking to retire. I can say that he was one of my trainers back in 2000 or in 1997. So I'm pretty old here myself, but you know, Bill has done so much for us in the department, in the detective bureau recently. All of the other detectives rotated out. So Bill got 3 brand new people, and anybody that's been in the detective bureau will tell you it takes about a good year or so to really learn that job. So you can imagine being in charge of 3 brand new detectives. There's a lot that they don't know. And Bill has been working very hard to get them up to speed so that they can do the job. So I have his plaque here. Beautiful. He's very honored to accept it and have it. He said he was sorry that he couldn't be here. Yeah, so I think that's about it that I wanted to say. I kind of was caught off guard to be the one to not only emergency present it, but also be the emergency acceptor of the award. So thanks, and I think that's about it.
All right, thanks, John. Certainly appreciate that. Appreciate all the efforts that you know, Bill and the entire team over there that they do. We certainly want to thank everybody who's been online with us today. Special congratulations to Eric, Dave, Ian, Jay, and Bill for all of their efforts throughout the year and helping, you know, keep our community in the bubble. And we certainly appreciate that. And we certainly appreciate all of the efforts. And certainly Rotary is pleased to recognize all of the professionals who are with us on a daily basis, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And certainly as a reminder in this holiday period, especially during COVID, we would ask our members of the club to please remember that while you may be socially distancing from members of your family, and but you're celebrating with your family through Zoom or other methods. And you want to keep in mind that these professionals are working to maintain, protect, and serve our community. And we certainly thank you for all of your service. And I don't know, Dan, do you have anything else to add to this? Nope. Okay. Well, then I guess we'll turn it over to John. Back over to President John. And you're muted, John.
Sorry about that. Thanks, Paul, and thanks to all the presenters and everybody who attended today via Zoom. Usually, like a few people referenced, we're over in the big room at the Cultural Center eating turkey and stuffing, and it's a very nice day. We will get back to that and all get together hopefully next year for this program for sure, and hopefully before that. And thank you to all the first responders out there, particularly the folks here who were awarded and recognized today. We appreciate your service to the community as a whole. We will move on. Can everybody see my screen? To win Penny's lunch money. And for those of you who don't know, since we're not meeting in person, one of our Rotarians has donated or is buying gift certificates, and in the amount they would spend on lunch, which is $15. And somebody wins one every week. We are on Zoom. So James Geetson, are you on?
Yeah, I need a number. It was Paul. Pick a number between 1 and 51.
That would be 33.
It is John Brothers.
Oh, gotta like that, John.
All right. Well, congratulations, Lieutenant Brothers, on your winning Penny's lunch money. And
she'll mail you a chamber gift card.
Yeah, we'll get it to you. And This is just thank you to all the first responders and those in public service in general. And until we meet next week, have a great week and take care of yourselves, be well, and mask up. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.